when Brock Lesnar's music thundered through MetLife Stadium at SummerSlam 2025. The entire building erupted like a volcano. Just moments earlier, you had watched an epic showdown between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Cena's loss felt like the end of an era. Cena stood there, the crowd roaring, basking in the emotional high of what many assumed was his final moment, a perfect farewell. But then everything changed. Lesnar charged in like a freight train with one goal: to crash the moment. An F5 later, Cena was flattened, and the crowd's emotional release was replaced with pure, jaw-dropping shock. Fans looked stunned. There were cheers, there were jeers, but all were unified in disbelief. This wasn't a return, it was a statement, a seismic shift in the very story WWE had been telling. What's insane is how secret the whole thing was. In an era where spoilers seem to leak faster than wrestlers take bumps, Lesnar's return was near impossible to predict. Rumors say he was flown into a tiny airport under deep cover, hidden on site like a covert operation. Writers, producers, even backstage talent were kept in the dark. They even canceled the usual post-show press conference because they didn't want any questions bubbling to the surface. That kind of secrecy hasn't been seen in years. It was a calculated strike of surprise, absolutely masterful. The backdrop makes it even wilder. Lesnar had been away from WWE screens since SummerSlam 2023 for nearly 2 years after his name appeared multiple times in a high-profile lawsuit involving allegations at the top level of the company. He was never officially suspended. Instead, he quietly stayed under contract and reportedly remained one of the highest-paid stars through his absence. No one saw this coming, and his return signaled to many it wasn't a matter of if, but when. Incredibly, he was cleared for return just weeks before the event, completely under wraps. Then, boom, he's back, and in the stadium. Ages of fans had turned up for Cena's farewell moment, and suddenly, that moment turned into something explosive and chaotic. It was like reality TV explosion, raw, devastating, unforgettable. And now the speculation is heating up. Could Lesnar end up joining the Vision? That faction, led by Seth Rollins and managed by Paul Heyman, featuring Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, has been steamrolling through the main event scene. They even teased it creatively by calling themselves the Vision, led by Rollins in his World Heavyweight title reign. It makes sense from a storytelling perspective. Lesnar is firmly a Paul Heyman guy. Heyman and Rollins are already aligned. A heel Lesnar fits their image, and having him join forces with them would amplify their dominance exponentially. Imagine the carnage. Imagine a tag against Cena and allies at Survivor Series with Lesnar and Rollins slamming through everyone. It writes itself. Nothing is official yet, nothing confirmed, but the narrative logic is strong, and the timing is perfect. Lesnar's shock return, plus Heyman's involvement, plus Vision's world-weary momentum, all pointing toward a powerful alignment. But let's shift back to Cena's farewell story, because this twist pulled his moment into new emotional territory. He had earned the applause, the spotlight, the respect. It was supposed to be a solemn, managed farewell. Lesnar's arrival injected chaos, pain, uncertainty. Cena didn't get to say goodbye, and that tension? It hooked fans in all over again. His final path just got a plot twist, and policing that energy creates emotional stakes no promo ever could. Now, Cena is back on TV addressing what happened, saying things like they deal him, I play him. He's taking the hits but promising spectators he'll handle whatever comes. Meanwhile, Lesnar lurks as a phantom threat, the specter that hovers over the final months of Cena's career. That tension alone is worth tuning in for. Behind the scenes, Heyman is doubling down. He's out there saying that fans love seeing Lesnar, that the decision to bring him back was validated by the emotion in the stadium. In fact, he's blunt, critics need to get over it. Whether you call it insensitive or storytelling savvy, the message is clear: this is no longer just drama in the ring. It's narrative, optics, chaos, history all wrapped up. The fact that WWE played it cool by avoiding press questions right after the event tells you how tight this whole thing was choreographed. They did not want this unraveling for anyone. The story they've laid out is, Cena's farewell intersects with a bombshell return, designed to reignite momentum ahead of the post-SummerSlam weeks. The question now is, who will Lesnar align with? Will he go solo, targeting Cena in one final journey to shape Cena's legacy? Or will he fuse with the Vision and become a force of unstoppable destruction? Either way, Survivor Series promises to be explosion territory, a giant tentpole of violence, closure, storyline arcs colliding, and in the middle of it, Brock Lesnar stands like a beacon of mayhem. That's the storytelling bait, and WWE dangled it perfectly. Lesnar's return wasn't just a shock, it was an emotional gut punch. It pulled the floor out of Cena's farewell arc and reset the narrative. asking the audience to re-engage in a moment they thought belonged to nostalgia. It's cinematic, and that's why people are still talking days later. This plays out like the beginning of something explosive: alliances, betrayals, massive tag match setups, Cena's final stand, Lesnar's next chapter. So strap in, watch every SmackDown, pay attention to mentions of the Vision, track Cena's mood, read the backstage tone. This is not just storyline fodder, it's peak wrestling drama stepping into real-world tension. And from the ashes of SummerSlam, the next chapter is being written live. WWE's return to France just got electric. Clash in Paris, slated for August 31, 2025, is shaping up to be far more than a location-based show. It's becoming the main chapter of John Cena's farewell saga, and we're not just talking about one of his final matches. Cena will meet Logan Paul, and with everything that's gone down this summer, this bout contains dynamite storytelling power. Let's backtrack to SummerSlam. John Cena and Cody Rhodes staged a savage street fight for the undisputed championship. Cena came into that encounter as the face of WWE's final chapter, but ended up passing the mantle in a moment dripping with narrative weight, only to be blindsided by Brock Lesnar straight after. That moment broke the script apart. Cena's built-up parting moment transformed into a last-minute ambush, setting the stage for a season that seems like a live TV drama. Fast forward to SmackDown in Montreal. Cena's emotional penultimate visits before Europe. The fans treated him like royalty, willing him to push through the hit and complete the tour strong. He comes into the ring and addresses Lesnar's SummerSlam ambush with brutal honesty. He's terrified, but he's got a John Cena problem. That phrase falls hard not just for fans but for the narrative. Cena's vulnerability is real, yet he's still ready to battle. Then comes Logan Paul. He interrupts Cena, ridiculing him for flip-flopping from heel to face. Cena strikes back by labeling Logan the biggest dumb *SS he's ever seen. That isn't a casual insult, it's character-defining. It pushes the competition straight into a conflict of identities, the respected veteran versus the boisterous, reckless outsider. The reaction is instantaneous, as Cena accepts Logan's challenge for Clash in Paris. Before Cena can walk it out, he gets blindsided by Drew McIntyre. Out of nowhere, Cody Rhodes jumps in to help and sets the tone for the rest of the night. Cena and Cody team up against Logan and Drew, giving fans a violent taste of what's coming in Paris. It's anarchy packaged as storytelling and a symbolic passing of the torch between generations. Heading into Clash in Paris, the tale had all the ingredients wrestling fans crave. Cena's emotional arc, the unpredictable villain versus legend, the physical threat from McIntyre, and, towering above it all, the specter of Brock Lesnar's unresolved meddling. Now, why put Cena in a match with Logan instead of Lesnar? There are a few smart explanations. First, there's gravity in delaying Lesnar versus Cena for a greater stage. That showdown is guaranteed money, and if saved for Crown Jewel or Survivor Series, it'll hit hard. Logan's beef offers Cena a strong but manageable opponent to set the table. Second, this Logan match has been simmering for months. WWE clearly saw narrative potential in placing the franchise hero against the viral star. Clash in Paris lends it cultural cachet. Fans were already buzzing at the mere suggestion of Cena versus Logan. Delivering it in Paris, at Cena's homecoming moment, instantly improves it. Third, beating Logan sets Cena up for a momentum-rich return to the ring versus Lesnar. Tying that success to heroism and fortitude enriches the farewell arc. He's not just limping into his final act, he's fighting. Let's visualize the tale trajectory here. Cena versus Logan Paul is framed as unfinished business on the international stage. Paris delivers culture, vendetta, and legacy in one. If Cena overcomes Logan, America's biggest hero walks out of Europe on a high note, only for Brock to come crashing his final curtain. It's the kind of build that feels theatrical, surprising, and loaded with emotion. But this contest isn't simply storytelling, it's spectacle. For Logan Paul, it's the biggest match of his life. For the fans, it's Cena's penultimate chapter in WWE. Every strike, every taunt, every retort will feel heavy, and in that moment, Paris becomes the finale of a torch-passing story. There are also unanswered questions hanging over this arc. What role will Lesnar play between now and Paris? He's advertised as a looming threat, not confirmed for SmackDown or the event, but his existence is a continual narrative hammer. You sense he could crash Paris's party with one F5, changing everything. Then there's Cena's friendship with Cody. Post-tag match, tensions are mounting. Drew hit Rhodes with a Claymore, setting up Rhodes versus Drew down the line. But in Paris, Cena and Rhodes stand united against the intruders. That dynamic allyship established under pressure feels like the emotional essence of the situation. And don't underestimate the cultural angle. WWE has never headlined Paris with Cena before. His retirement trip striking the Eiffel Tower backdrop is visual storytelling at its finest. He's not just fighting Logan, he's bidding goodbye on the world stage, and fans are feeling every second. Expect promos to push into nostalgia, loyalty, insulting Logan for believing he can overshadow legend, and Cena embracing defiance in his final walk. This isn't just another match, it's a narrative event that taps into 20-plus years of storytelling, character evolution, reinvention, and history. In the lead-up, watch how WWE teases it: smoke, glances, promo packages laced with history, danger, and Paris. Logan leaning into his swagger, Cena leaning into his grit. The clock is ticking toward retirement, yet Cena keeps answering the call. That tension is everything. When the bell rings in Paris, folks, this isn't just a match, it's a moment in wrestling history. Cena versus Logan, legacy versus virality, farewell versus ambition. And with Lesnar charged in the background, if he shows up, it's chaos. If he stays out, Cena gets to win his final victory on his terms. Either way, it's storytelling gold. Buckle up, because Cena's journey is anything but dying softly. Clash in Paris might be the emotional apex of his final tour, and Logan Paul is the right explosive figure to light that flame. Let me know if you like comparable assessments of prospective rematch angles or how this change sets up Crown Jewel or Survivor Series.